but it's not progressing very well at the moment, the situation. Is apparently, what's been reported is that he refused to apologise and he's now been asked to train away from the first team. So that relationship is still very much on the brink of danger. At this point in time, do you see Jadon Sancho playing for Manchester United again? Mike, do you see a way back for him?
He's still a Manchester United player. You know, every player at some point will have run-ins and doesn't like sort of the situation they find themselves in. The question is, what does Jadon Sancho want to do? Does he want to put, you know, does he want to put his right foot forward and really show the manager what his capabilities are? Fight his way back in there. It's not easy when you're going training on your own. And I've never been a coach. I've never been involved in anything like that before, where you've been sort of set aside from the rest of the squad. I don't know where that leads, you know, and where that leaves a player mentally and physically. But hopefully he can get his head around the situation and get on with what he's supposed to be good at, which is to play football. Every football player wants to play football, and he has to find a way back into that squad until somebody decides differently.
Well, what does he need to do? Is the actual verbal apology, whatever that shape and form might be, is that truly that important? How can he claw his way back then?
Well, he needs to get the confidence of his manager, and the manager needs to get the confidence back from the player. So it's a two-way street here. You know, if I would think if the discussion is broken down completely, then obviously there's no way back for the player. But that doesn't seem to be the case. You know, we don't know what went on in that room. We don't know what the conversation is. We're only speculating. Right now, at this moment in time, he's not involved with the squad. He has to find a way to either get back into that squad or make decisions which lead to a career-changing moment from him. So, you know, that will be something that will be ongoing within Manchester United right now.
Yeah, and just briefly on the same subject, Michelle, you know, Manchester United really backed Sancho a few months ago when, you know, he had some apparent issues, he wasn't in a good place, and he was given some time off, and he trained abroad in Holland, I believe, with some coaches and an amateur club or something. So they gave him some time away from the club. In pre-season, the reports were that he was doing quite well for the club and it looked like everything was back on track. And sometimes a manager will use a situation to try and provoke a positive reaction from a player. And I go back to, you know, what Ten Hag said, which was, I thought, a genuine comment. Well, you know, Sancho hasn't been training well enough, in my opinion, and that's why he's not in the squad. And I believe that if I was in that situation, I would roll my sleeves up and I'd say, I'm going to show that boss of mine that he has to pick me because I'm going to train like a Trojan going forward. That's how I would respond to it. And I appreciate we're all different. And I'd like to think that most players would respond to it by saying, well, that's a challenge that's been thrown down. And I'm going to take on that challenge and I'm going to get myself back into the Manchester United side because I'm a contracted player. And in that contract, it stipulates that both in training and games, I have to give of my best. And OK, if the manager doesn't think I'm giving of my best, I'll show him what he needs to see.